Hello. Um, I just thought I would hop on and probably just more so for personal reasons, update our blog so that I have an accounting of the things that have transpired over the last few weeks. So this will be really short, but just wanted to have some way of documenting, the process of what we just went through. So um, today is December 17th, 16th, 16th. Today's the 16th, and um, on November 5th, I had my period came, and I started weaning Sam from breastfeeding right before our trip. So I would say like the first week in October. Last week in September, first week in October, I started weaning Sam from breastfeeding in preparation for our our frozen embryo transfer with Dr. Karandi. So um, I went on, I went back on metformin. I started estrase and had my consult with him like around the 6th or 7th of November, a day or two after my period came, to get on the schedule for frozen embryo transfer. So went on the estrase to keep my body from ovulating, um, and to also build up the thickness of my endometrium lining. Um, so what happened was I started the estrase, started the um, started the metformin, stayed on the birth control pill. Stayed on the prenatal vitamins, of course, and then about a week or 10 days after that, they had me back in for an ultrasound to check the lining. The lining was up to 10.8. Was good. It was the Thursday before Thanksgiving. Um, they like to see anything above a 6 for a transfer. And at that point, I was at a 10.8, which looked good. However, the Thanksgiving holiday was coming and the doctor was traveling. So they decided to keep me on the estrase and have me back in the day after Thanksgiving, which was Black Friday, to check my lining. My lining at that point had dropped to 9 something. Let me back up a minute. That Sunday, the Sunday of Thanksgiving, the Sunday prior to Thanksgiving, I started spotting. And I knew something was wrong because I was not supposed to be on that estrase that long. I think once my lining hit that 10.8, we should have scheduled the transfer. But of course, I'm not the medical professional, so I voiced my concerns to the doctor, and he said, not a problem. He's the professional. He knows, what the process is and how this should go. Um, but I think at this point, in hindsight, looking back at things, um, that not everybody's body can be controlled for an extended period of time. Now, I've had great success with him on my first 2 fresh cycles of IVF and have 2 beautiful boys from both of those procedures. Um, but I think I had a gut feeling at that point, and even Paul had voiced his concern about, we're really stretching this longer than, we really should be. The spotting continued Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, the Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, I was spotting so bad it was essentially like a period. And I knew at that point that, in my gut, we should not move forward. But because the doctor upped the medicine and had me come back in on that Friday, um, and lining was like 10.1, I could not convince them that this was a lower number than when I had just saw him that Thursday prior. And I'm like, listen, pump the brakes for a second. I need you guys to realize that you just measured my lining like 7 days ago and it was 10.8. I had all of this spotting going on, essentially a light period for 4 days, and now it's 10.1. Well, that's less than what it was just 7 days ago. So they upped the medicine. I went back, 4 days later, lining was 13.6. So, okay, good. We feel like crisis is averted. We'll move forward. They decided to tell the embryologist not to thaw our two frozen embryos until we actually got there for another endometrium check. And luckily for us, we got there, and lining was 13.6, and doctor said it's up to you. It's perfect. It looks great. Let's go. And they defrosted the embryos, and we had a frozen embryo transfer of two embryos that were left over from Sam's fresh cycle last summer that we transferred on December 5th. After that, I think a lot of things transpired for me, schedule-wise and mentally and things. I just didn't do things the way, and I'm not a superstitious person by any means, but I subscribe to the idea if something works a certain way, don't mess with it. And, for me, the process works when I am mentally present in the process and doing what I feel I'm supposed to be doing as the patient and the host of these, two embryos for that 2 weeks until I'm able to test. So what went different this time was I was in the middle of seeing a chiropractor, so I was having chiropractor appointments, which my gut feeling when I pulled up was, you need to cancel this appointment. But I chose not to. I went in and I told her and I said, listen, I'm in the middle. I just had a frozen transfer, 3-4 days ago. And she said, not a problem. I totally understand. I'll go very gentle. I won't do any massive pressure. We can adjust your neck, and I can just apply a little bit of pressure to your back, which she did. It wasn't as vigorous as it normally is. But I just knew I shouldn't have had that appointment. It's just one of those gut feelings. I was like, I could have just, paid the cancellation fee and oh, I'm sorry, it's thundering outside. I'm like, what in the world is that? It's snowing and it started thundering. um, so anyway, I should have canceled the appointment. I went forward with it anyway. I had a very busy day the next day. I had a massage. I had acupuncture that afternoon. The boys had late night at school. You're under lifting restrictions. You can't lift anything over 15 pounds. Well, my purse is 15 pounds. A gallon of milk is 10 pounds. So, and I've got a 22-pound 9-month-old. So, I cannot get around not lifting up, not picking my child up in and out of his crib, in and off a changing table, in and out of a swing, in and out of a car, a truck. Like I can't get away from that. So, that was different. With our last cycle with Sam, Sean was 2 years old already, so I wasn't really picking him up to do much of anything. He was potty trained already. He had a step in the bathroom to get up and down from the bathroom. The step helped him, wash his hands. It helped him get over into the tub, all those sorts of things. We took his mattress out of his toddler bed and put it on the floor just so, we wouldn't have any issues with me having to lift him out. So we made all of these, adjustments to make sure that I wasn't doing any, major lifting last summer when we went through Sam's treatment. But, I didn't really have a lot of those provisions this go round. What else was different? I did not listen to my Anji meditations, the IVF meditations that I did the 2 prior treatments. I listened to them while I was during my acupuncture sessions. But at home at night, like I was supposed to, I think I did it twice. And, it's one of those things where, I'm at the end of my degree program, and I'm in school, and the boys, yada, 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 busy life. And I just didn't get around to it. And so I think a combination of all of those things, in addition to the fact that I really did not get a good couple of days of bed rest in following the treatment, We ripped and ran some errands right after, like, 2 hours after the transfer. The next day was kind of chaotic. And then it was the weekend, so the boys were home. It was, I couldn't, I had homework, the papers due, like busy, busy, busy. So timing wise, the plan was let's hurry up and do it the end of 2013 because we've already met, our out of pocket max for the year. The ultrasounds will be covered. Let's just, most of the stuff will be covered. So let's just move forward and do it this year. In hindsight, bad decision. Um, we probably should have waited until after Sam turned 1 in March. I would have been clearly, 6, 8 weeks out of school. Sam would be a little more stable, walking at least by then, and some things would be a little less stressful. So, bad decision, I think, in hindsight. But I'm not beating myself up for the negative outcome of the cycle. I think, is a little reflective for me, but I kind of feel like, even though the pregnancy test was negative, I knew this a couple of days ago. I knew this on Thursday. Blood work was today. But I had a feeling it wasn't positive because there was just too many variables that didn't go right, that didn't go according to schedule. And I just felt in my heart that I was extremely sad, but I just felt like this did not go right. And I felt like, I wasted embryos, which, is really the hardest thing to kind of cope with. But I don't regret going through this at this point because it gave me, a sense of clarity in the fact that I know I'm not done having children yet. After Sam's delivery, I didn't have that, oh my God, I'm done, feeling. I mean, I had a natural child birth with Sam with no medication, and like, an hour later, I was like, oh, we have to do this again, like really quick. I'll be 35 in, 6, 7 weeks, and so, the clock is kind of ticking, and so, I don't know where this leaves us, but I know that, we don't, I know that I don't have that feeling in my heart that, I'm done having children and this is just, what it is. I have come to grips with the fact that, our family may be complete at this point. We've got, I can't be ungrateful at all because I've got 2 perfectly healthy little boys that are just, the best thing. And I'm happy and grateful that, the prognosis 5 years ago was that Paul and I would be a childless couple. And to sit here today and have a 3.5-year-old and a 9-month-old is just more than I had even expected. So, yes, we'll face, some challenging, decisions going forward, and, there'll be some sleepless nights, and, yesterday was really, really a bad day for me, and, I'll probably have some more of those, but I'm realistic in the fact that I should be allowed to grieve for the loss of these 2 embryos, these 2 babies that did not implant, at the same time being extremely grateful and lucky for the 2 that I have. So, just wanted to hop on and add this quick little video to my blog so that I have a way of documenting, exactly what happened this cycle. I got a message from Dr. Karandi today saying, he was, extremely sorry that, the procedure didn't go, we didn't get the outcome that we were looking for. But, when we sat down in Dr. Karandi's office in July of 2009, it was a last resort. It was the last ditch effort to create a family, and we've done that. And I am eternally grateful for the 2 blessings that we have. So I want everybody, including my house, my family, and friends, to know that we love you guys, and we want everybody to have a happy and safe holiday. Enjoy your Christmas and New Year's with your family, and the Gilmores send lots of love to you all. Have a good holiday and many blessings in 2014. Bye, guys.